What's up, everybody? It's Peas for Lunch, also known as Eric, and today we are talking about the Nintendo Switch. I don't have the popular opinion on the Nintendo Switch, so be prepared for that. But here we go. We're going to just unveil the information and the important parts of this thing. So, the Nintendo Switch just recently had all its fanfare, and everything came out about it. Turns out the system's going to be $299.99. If you know me at all, I've said from the start that was the only price point they could actually go with that made any sense at all. It matches up with PlayStation 4, Xbox One, so it's competitive, and that's the best thing they could have done. So that's a really good thing. Good job on them for actually doing that. So there's only a few launch titles out of the gate to look at. So let's take a look at those and kind of discuss what they are. So Zelda's self-explanatory. If you're really into Zelda, you really want to play the new Zelda, then a Switch might be something you want. If you already have a Wii U, Zelda's still coming to the Wii U. Granted, probably the last game to come to the Wii U, and we'll get into that at the end of this discussion. But what I want to say is that if you want to play Zelda, this is going to be the system to do it on, man. Do I think it's going to be better than the Wii U? Who's to say? It'll be portable. I mean, if that means anything to you. So then the second launch title, 1-2 Switch, really should just be coming with the console. But Nintendo is so broke right now, they can't afford to make it come with the console, so it's going to be a separate release. All I have to say about this title is it seems like a gimmick title, almost like Wii Sports was. But they were smart enough back in the day with the Wii to see that it was a gimmick title and package in Wii Sports. But this time around, not so smart, or just hurting for money so bad, they decided to sell this as a separate game. And it just looks goofball. I really think games right out of the gate for this system are bad. There's not good games unless you want to play Zelda. I don't want to play Zelda. I have no interest in that Zelda game at all whatsoever. And I definitely have no interest in 1-2 Switch. It all just looks like a mess to me. And I think in the sense of a starting lineup of games you could have, don't buy this system at launch. That's dumb. Don't buy this system at launch. If you want Zelda, hopefully you already have a Wii U, and that's what you bought the thing for. So just use it for what that's for. Now, if you don't have a Wii U, you want to play Zelda, sure. If you want to spend that much money to just play a Zelda game, by all means, be my guest. Do it. It's fine. So now that we've talked about the launch titles, we've talked about the price point, let's discuss a little more about the system itself. From what I've seen video-wise, I initially questioned the transition from screen to tablet, if that was true, from the demo they showed, the trailer they showed, and seeing it live. And to be honest with you, I was wrong. It looks like it is kind of a quick transition. Maybe not as fast. Maybe the movie magic in the trailer is still a little much. But the transition is actually pretty smooth. So that's pretty cool to note. Now, we talked about the price point of the console. I want to get into the accessories a little bit. So the Joy-Cons, which are what they're calling the tiny controllers that pop on and off the tablet, those things are not really that great looking as controllers. They have wrist straps and apparently some kind of motion control to them. But a pair of these things is going to cost you, I believe, $79.99. That is insanity. I understand what they're trying to say is you're getting 2 more controllers, but you're really not. You're getting 1 more controller. And I just don't agree with this idea. That's too high. That's too much. That's way too much. You're asking too much of your consumer, at that point. They just spent $300 on your console. And I understand the argument will be, well, for PS4 or Xbox One, they're $60 and up. You're absolutely right. It's kind of crazy what they're charging for controllers these days. But at the same time, this is a little bit overboard. So let's say you don't want the Joy-Con controllers. Let's say you want the Pro controller. I want to say that it's $30 to $40 for that thing. And that thing's only going to be for specific things. It won't even be for, like, the main thing. So, I don't know. I think they're going kind of crazy with the price on accessories. It's just, it shows how much trouble Nintendo truly is in. And if you are somebody that doesn't think Nintendo's in trouble, reevaluate this, because, man, Nintendo's in trouble. Nintendo's scared. As a matter of fact, so the Fire Emblem thing was just recently too, where they announced all the Fire Emblem games. They're pushing the phone game of Fire Emblem harder than they're pushing anything about Fire Emblem. And that's because my prediction on this whole thing, if the Nintendo Switch falls flat and they lose money on it, the way they lost money on the Wii U, they will move strictly to phone-based games. Period. So they really want to push that market hard. They want that market to be the one that they focus on. Because if everything else fails, then they can always fall back on phones. Because, hey, everybody has a phone. We don't have to waste money making a console. We can just make games for a phone. So I think that's Nintendo's plan. A super weak launch for this. I don't recommend, even if you want Zelda, to buy this thing at launch. Because let's say you're somebody who binges a game and you buy the Switch. You bought the Switch, you binged Zelda you beat it in like 3 or 4 days. Let's argue that it's that long, but let's argue that you've also played, 10 hours a day, which is crazy, but people do it. I've done it before. But the thing is if you beat that game in 4 days, you're not going to say, oh man, I bought the Switch and played a really cool Zelda game. You're going to say, I bought the Switch and beat a game in 4 days. What else is there to play? And the answer is nothing. There's nothing else to play. 1-2 Switch is only for like party situations. If you're just a solo gamer, then you're just kind of screwed. So I don't agree with the launch. I think the launch titles are awful. And if you talk about post-launch titles that are supposed to be in the holidays, and maybe even digital titles, maybe there'll be more digital titles out of the gate, but I don't think so. I think they would have probably talked about that. They're moving to their online service, so now this is the next thing I want to jump into. With PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold, you get normally 2 free games every month that, as long as you're a gold member and you download them that month, you get that game as long as you're a member. And if your membership expires, once you re-up your subscription, you still have access to those games, right? So that's a cool service. Nintendo should have done the same, but what they did instead was their service only gives you access to those games for that month and that month only. After that month is over, you're done. You're done. Your subscription service is shut down. You don't get that game anymore. You have to wait, and you have to either buy that game if you liked it, or just wait till the next month. That is such a weird marketing choice. Oh man, I don't know. So I don't really like the Switch. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are really excited for this system, and I don't mean to rain on your parade. If you're excited, be excited. Excitement about video games is what drives this whole thing forward. It's what pushes everything up the road, and money. But still, excitement is a huge part of it. So be excited. I don't want to hurt your excitement. But the new Mario game where he's in New York or whatever looks absolutely stupid. That looks so dumb. How could you begin to defend that game? That game looks awful. It's Mario, But he's in New York. Hey, he's in the real world. Sonic 06? Anybody? Steven, eat your heart out. But Sonic 06, does that not make anybody think of Sonic 06? That's exactly what comes to mind. And you see how good that was. You see how great Sonic Adventure DX is. It's terrible. We don't want to see these characters in the real world. It just makes them look more ridiculous than they already are. Stupidest idea, and I can't believe people are excited for this. Another Mario Kart game, whatever. How many times can we play Mario Kart before it's just, I'm sick of it? Now that could be just me. I'm really burnt out on Nintendo's games, and they really need to do something to shake it up. I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan, and the main reason I play those games is for my wife. Now, anyway, I do enjoy those games, but like if a new if they show a trailer for a new Animal Crossing game, I'm really not gonna care, but I know my wife will greatly care, and that's gonna be where I get drug into this whole thing. As a consumer, I am not impressed. As a gamer, I'm not impressed. I don't think that Nintendo's gonna make it if there's people out there like me. But I'm very different. People don't typically agree with me. I typically have the bad opinion in most people's eyes. But that's okay. I am open to other opinions, and I allow people to have other opinions. So that's all I'm going to say. This was a big kind of a rant. If you like this kind of stuff, I'm continuing it, clearly. Check out some of the other videos. If you like gameplay videos, I've got those coming up too. And yeah, so subscribe if you want to see more of this. Like if you like this video. Dislike it if you dislike this video. I don't care. I want you to be honest. And as always, I just want us to have a discussion. So comment below, or whatever the case, about your feelings on the Switch. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever. Anyway, guys, this has been Peace for Lunch, also known as Eric, and I will talk to you guys later.